Join with computer. It's recording, start my video. So this is looking good. Here's the her. Now let me see, can I do choose virtual background? Oh no, not that. No, not that. No. All right. So we'll just do it like this. The shirt together. Hella black, hella proud. And then when we want to do this, we'll go live on Facebook. All right. So, cool. So I think I got that set up. Let me see the things I want to be talking about. Got my notes. Water. Phone over here. I need another pen. All right, Jazz, I'm about to get started. All right. So no more interruptions, okay? Until I'm gonna be going from 2 to 3:30. All right? You good? You want a snack while I'm on here? You can have some more fruit. You can have a yogurt and a piece of fruit. Nothing else until I'm off the phone. You don't need nothing. And just keep drinking your water. I love you. I love you too. And unless it's an emergency, do not interrupt. Meaning like you're bleeding or the house is on fire. Okay. All right. We got that. There's the hair. Good. All right. Lord Jesus, thank you, God, for this day, for this opportunity. Use me, God, according to your will and purpose. That those who are meant to see, receive, take part of, do so. Let your will be done. Allow me to be a reflection of your love, your grace, and your light, so that in seeing me, others desire to have a closer and a right relationship with you. Thank you, God, for everything you've done, everything you're doing, everything you're going to do. Thank you, God. In Jesus' name I pray. It is done. Amen. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So we're going to do. We got this stuff. We got the share your voice, which I can paste into the chat. Okay. So I'll keep all that going. Excuse me. Sometimes I burp when I get nervous. Let's a little bit more, get a little bit more light. Okay. All right. Make a difference. No light, light, no light. That's all right. All right. And let's go ahead and T minus 30 seconds to live. Ha ha! Ha ha! Yeah. Because I do believe in being prompt. All right. Phone is on vibrate. Got plenty of pins for my notes. Got my reminders posted. All right, let's do this. Where's my mouse? Share to newsfeed. Next. All right. Preparing to live stream the Zoom. Show. Check. Oops. Check and join the conversation. And let's copy this. Copy. Oops. All right. No, it's not gaming. No. All right. Go live. All right. Let me move this over here. Okay. So we are now live on Facebook. Okay, folks. Hey. Welcome to the Just Chamia Show live community check-in. Hey. As folks come on, nobody's on yet, but that's all right. I'm recording and I'm here to listen. So that's what I'm doing today is I am here to listen and provide an opportunity for all of those who would like to share their thoughts, views, opinions, feelings, whatever it is about how life is going right now, everything you're living and experiencing, just being Black in this world right now. Come on through and join the conversation. So that's what we're doing today. Thank you. It's been a minute, but the Just Chamia Show has never gone anywhere. I just took a break from posting for a little bit, and we're here live today, Sunday, November 1st, from 2 to 3:30 Pacific time. And it's the opportunity for all of you to share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions, to have a dialogue with me, to have a dialogue with anybody that's watching today. We are recording this and we'll be posting to my YouTube channel and all of social. So feel free to join in the conversation. I added the Zoom link. So if you want to join me on Zoom and be a part of the conversation, share your opinion live, the Zoom link is there. And you can hop onto Zoom, then that will allow others to see your face and to hear you live. Of course, if you post into the comments, I will try to look at the comments and follow that as best as I can. But if you want to actually speak in dialogue with me as I'm live today from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, click the Zoom link that's in the description there and come on and let's talk about it. So in case you're wondering, the Just Chamia Show, real show for real people with real opinions. I've been doing this since 2014. And it's been a dream of mine for many, many years. And I just had to launch. I had filmed a pilot and all of that and was trying to shop it around, but after the murder of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, I just decided to do it the indie route and have been going ever since. And so this is about us. This is about our voices. This is about our people and our lives. And it's an opportunity for all of us to express what we feel is notable, newsworthy, and I want to hear from you. This has been an unprecedented year on so many different levels. We're dealing with a lot of different things, and all of you have the opportunity to express that. So as folks are coming online right now, hey sis, I see you. And I appreciate you joining, Rena. If you would love to chat with me live, the Zoom link is there. You can click and join the Zoom link. That will allow you and your voice to be heard. And we can have a dialogue about what you're thinking and feeling, anything you want to say with your chest. Get off your chest, get off your mind, anything that you would like people to know. You can do that. So I do have some topics that we're going to discuss today, some things that are on my mind. I welcome you to comment on them here on Facebook, but even more, click that Zoom link and let's talk about it live. Join the conversation. Feel free to please tell a friend, please forward the link. Anybody that can see me on Facebook at Chamia Ray, they can join. Anybody can send that Zoom link. If you don't have your name on the Zoom, though, I'm not going to invite you from the waiting room. So just put your name on there so I know who I'm talking to. And come on and have a conversation. Join us. So if you were wondering where I've been, because it has been a minute since I have posted any content as the Just Chamia Show, I needed a moment for myself, for my family, just going through lots of life transition and change, but I ain't went nowhere. So to some of you, I may be a new face. To some of you, it may be, hey girl, haven't seen you in a minute. And to some of y'all, I never left. And I just like to say I'm still here and I have not gone anywhere. So even if you're not seeing the show and the content posted, I still am continuing to do this work. Fostering and supporting and initiating meaningful dialogue in our community, giving and service, that's what it's all about, and certainly supporting indie media and indie voices. So that's what we're all about. So again, I ain't want nowhere, I'm still here. Chamia from the Bay, live right now from Richmond here on Facebook Live via Zoom. And again, you can click the Zoom link if you'd like to join the conversation. So yeah, that I've been mommy, which doesn't stop. So in addition to my other 18 full-time jobs, that's one of my number one full-time jobs is being a full-time single parent. And to my beautiful 8-year-old going on 25, and I love him so much and he's everything. So I've been doing that and continuing to do this. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of resources. And so if you're interested in being part of the team or joining and supporting, we definitely welcome that and welcome you to stay connected. Stay connected, reach out, let's collaborate. Let's talk. Let's do this. And I'm going to post in the comments, if you like to stay connected, there's all my contact info there in the comments on Facebook. You can reach out to me at info at ChamiaLaray.com, on Instagram or Facebook at Just Chamia, Chamia. And let's talk. Let's keep the dialogue going. Looking to build a team, have those who support. So yeah, need everything. Let's do it. So yeah, as folks hop in and out, just want to remind you that if you are interested in talking live with me, well, I do appreciate comments. Click that Zoom link that's there on Facebook Live, and you can join me on Zoom and let me see your face. Let me hear your voice and talk with me and tell me what's on your mind. So this is a different format. For me, normally I do one-on-one interviews or one-on small group interviews, but just with everything that's going on, I feel that it's really critical and important to provide venues, avenues for people to express their thoughts and opinions, feelings, whatever, about what's happening in our world. So that's why we're doing this today. I will be doing this again. And I'm going to keep doing it. I have no problem sitting here talking by myself. I am an only child, so I'm real comfortable with that. And what's most important, though, what I would love to do is to hear from you and to dialogue with you and to hear how you're thinking and feeling about everything that's going on. So come on and join me. So with that, where are we today? It is Sunday, November 1st, 2020, the first day of the 11th month of this year. For me, it's definitely felt like a super long year. It's been a long year, and it's also flown by. So like time is flying by, and I'm like, crap, it's November already. It's holidays already. It's all of that. But it's also been the longest year. Dealing with and living through a lot of the things that we've been dealing with and living through. And that's what I'd love to provide folks the opportunity to chime in on if you'd like to. So you could click that Zoom link and join the conversation. So this has been a challenging year for many. We have seen lots of violence. Physical, mental, emotional, financial violence against Black people in this country and really all over the world. It's not lost on me at all, the violence, whether it is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, certainly, and financial warfare waged against Black people all over this country, including in multiple countries on the continent of Africa right now. I stand with you, I hear you, I see you, and I'm praying for you and with you. But certainly here in the United States of America, we have experienced a lot this year as Black folks. It's been an economically tough year for many. The cost of, I don't know about you or where y'all live, but I live here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And here in the San Francisco Bay Area, even with, folks, a lot of people working from home, not being on the road, gas prices are still high, in the mid $3 somethings for a gallon. And that's even starting at 87 octane. I'm old school, I know 87, 89, 91. My cars all have to take 91, which is super expensive and it kills me. But anyway, so the cost of everything is high right now. Groceries, just common things. And if you live here in the Bay Area, water is high. If you have to pay water, PG&E is high. If you have to pay PG&E, especially with the wildfires that have happened. And I know just all across this country, it's been economically tough for a lot of people this year. Certainly a lot of people, sadly, have been displaced from their place of employment or furloughed or different things. So it's also a financially tough year for many. So we have that as another thing that we're contending with as people. Lots of folks in the community that I'm a part of, and whether that's my family, my local community, or just broader community of Black folks all over the nation, have experienced a lot of losses this year. A lot of relatives have passed, even in my own family. So I certainly have been processing a lot of grief and mourning in my own way this year, and quite a few folks that I know have experienced several losses as well. And so just collectively as a Black community, we've experienced quite a bit of loss. You know, even as we think about, again, getting back to that violence and the war being waged on Blackness all over, and what we're seeing, and the violence, the physical violence against Black men, women, and children. And we think about some of the losses that we've had this year, including Sister Breonna Taylor at the beginning of the year, and George Floyd, and so many others, even up into this weekend, all across this country, from super liberal California all the way to the East Coast and the South, wherever. It's been a lot, and those are also losses for our community. So that's some of what we've experienced as well. And then, you know, because there's COVID. So yeah, we're living in the midst of a pandemic, and there's so much more that I'll get into, and we'll talk about that. And again, we'll love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're interested, you can go ahead and click that Zoom link and chime in and talk with me about your thoughts and feelings on living through COVID. We'd love to hear that. We also still have a documentary that we've been filming throughout this pandemic, and we'll continue to film until I feel it's done. And so if you want to participate in that and share your experiences living through COVID, we love to. All the contact information is there in the chat. But living through COVID in many places with shelter in place orders and things like that, it's been a very isolating experience for those who certainly have been complying with that. And even if you personally haven't, with a lot of other people doing, it's changed just how we're interacting socially, and has led to some feelings of social isolation a little bit for many folks. And so that's just one other thing that we are contending with. So there's that. And like I said, the pandemic, the coronavirus, COVID-19, and its impact on Black people. And there's information that can be cited from all over the place. And I do have some articles pulled up here that I can share links to for those that are interested. And I may just do it anyway in a little bit. But they're saying right now that 1 in 1,000 Black people in the United States of America have been impacted with COVID, meaning had it. And it's just, the pandemic overall is no surprise to us that are living here. It's been very poorly handled by those in government, whether you're looking at the national level, and for many on the local level, and how it's addressed. And here we are on Sunday, November 1st, 2020, and we have cases that are surging. The incidents are surging, not just here in the United States of America, but in many countries all across the world. And so those are just some of the things that we are dealing with on this first day of the 11th month in this year, 2020. Surely there's more. And, you know, if there's more that you want to talk about, we could do that. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions, how you've been coping, dealing with all of this. If it doesn't affect you, if you just living your life and everything's just as it is, everything's kosher, copacetic, want to hear that, want to just see your face, hey, I'm good. But yeah, just want to give the opportunity. That's what this is all about. Doing something different. Y'all might be like, where's she been? Yeah, well, here I go. And I'm here for you, and I'm here to listen. And I'm here to provide this opportunity for anybody who would love to participate and share your thoughts, feelings, get it off your chest, get it off your head, and go take a nap on, you know, just some of these things that we've been experiencing here in 2020. So I highlighted some of the topics that are top of mind. And of course, with today also being November 1st, 2020, we're 2 days out. 2 days out, two days out from the election. Whew. Wow. And there's a lot about that. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Just a reminder that the Zoom link is there in Facebook, on the Facebook Live, in the description. There's an invitation to join the conversation. So all you have to do is click that Zoom link, And then I'll add you, and you will be here on Facebook Live with me talking about these topics. I want to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Feel free to forward it to your friends, your homies. They can dial in too and get it off their chest and say what they're thinking and feeling. I want to hear from all of you. All of your voices matter. All of our voices matter. Our thoughts, feelings, opinions, our needs, our wants, our desires, our dreams, our passions, our ideas, our spirits, our children, our cousins, our families, our communities, all matter. So I want to hear from y'all. I see many of y'all still liking the post, reminding about the live. Thank you. I appreciate the love. Come on over here to Facebook Live. Click the Zoom link if you want to join the conversation. I'd be happy to talk with you. All right. So we're 2 days out from an election. We're 2 days out from what some folks would say is the election. Like, you know, we start speaking in biblical terms instead of saying the, like you're like the, you know, whatever, or Old English or whatever they call that. It's serious, it's emphasis. So yeah, we're 2 days out from the election. Woo! And if you have not voted, vote. In many places, certainly here in the San Francisco Bay Area, early voting centers are open. And you can find your place where you can go and vote early. I am going to share in the comments here a link to a KQED article that talks about how to find your early voting place or where to drop off your ballot and things like that. It's important that we vote. I heard Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf say that the Oakland Coliseum is one place for residents of Alameda County where you can register and vote on the same day. So generally registration for voting is closed, but they said right there at the Oakland Coliseum, this is what Mayor Schaaf said on the news, that you can register and vote same day. So even if you haven't registered in Alameda County, get on over there. There's no excuse. Even if you're, you know, one of those folks that are of the mindset that you don't want to throw your vote away to either of the presidential candidates, well, guess what? There are other candidates on the ballot. There's even a blank space where you can write in. And aside from the presidency, there's so many more important things that are on the ballot that we're voting on this year. There are other positions within our state governments. There are statewide propositions, there are local measures, things like that, school board folks, things that impact our day-to-day lives on the local level. And so I encourage you to vote. If you have not already, go drop your ballot off. If you need one, contact your county office of registrar's office to see how to get a ballot. Go to the polls and vote early, especially with all the voter suppression that's happening across the country. You see folks waiting in lines for hours and hours to vote. It's not a joke. It is your life. If you have any complaint about anything, whether it's the tax you pay on your groceries when you go to the store, how much you pay for gas, the quality of the schools in your community, the quality of the streets that you drive on, the rent for the place that you pay for, or whatever it is, all of these things are impacted by your vote. And so go do that. All right, that's what I got to say. So we're 2 days out from the election. There are many of opportunity to vote early. If you have questions about some of these propositions, now I'm not in Southern California, I'm here in Northern California and San Francisco Bay Area. Happy to share what I know, but I don't want to persuade anyone on any particular direction on how to vote. That's your choice, that's your right. But you know, if you have questions, throw it out there, drop it in the comments, let people give you resources or information, place for you to get those questions answered, because the important thing is that you go vote. So we're 2 days out. Want to bring that up. It's very important because it impacts all of our lives. So yeah. That's important. Voting. Had to pause because I'm thirsty. And I'm talking a lot because y'all haven't chimed in to join me on Zoom yet, talk with me, but that's okay. I'm just here if you choose to. And I'll be doing this again. And as I said, I'm looking to build a team of folks who can help me. No, I didn't, promote this on social media beyond yesterday. So I know it's a little late for some folks, and with Halloween with children and all of that, or whatever your life is, it's not even just that, but whatever it is, I'll try to get better, and I will keep doing this because it's important to have opportunities for us to just dialogue and express. And that's what I want to do, especially right now. So I'll do another one, but today you can click that Zoom link and join the conversation. You can also stay connected. So as I do more of these, or you are interested in helping out the cause, you believe in the dream, you say, hey, Chamia Ray Productions, let's do that indie thing. Go ahead and email me at info at chamialaray.com, CHAMIALARAE. You can see it if you're on here because you're seeing my name spelled out on Facebook, or follow me on Instagram or on Facebook at Just Chamia, and let's stay connected, talk about how we can collaborate and be great. So 2 days to the election. We are living through the greatest pandemic in modern times. I guess the last thing that people are comparing this to is the flu of 1918. Well, I wasn't alive then. I mean, no, black don't crack, but she ain't that old. So yeah, COVID. As of today, November 1st, more than 9 million people in this country, the United States of America, have tested positive. And I read that statistic that way because I question how many people have gone untested and are positive. So we know that more than 9 million Americans have tested positive. We know that there's quite a few folks out there that are asymptomatic that maybe have not gotten tested, or a lot of folks that might have symptoms and haven't gotten tested. Then I wonder how many positive cases there actually are. And I imagine that number is so much higher than 9 million, but those are my thoughts. My opinion. Welcome to hear yours. Drop a comment, join the Zoom link. So here we are, November 1st, more than 9 million Americans, people in America. I don't know if they're all Americans just because they're here, but 9 million people in this country have tested positive as of today. And there are more than 230,000 people in this country that have died from COVID. Okay, so I've already just shared one of my questions, which is if more than 9 million people in this country have tested positive, how many people are positive and haven't been tested, or are asymptomatic and haven't been tested? And I think that 9 million number is higher. I have a similar question when it comes to the number of deaths, or thoughts, around when it comes to the number of deaths. Very sad that 230,000 people, more than that, have lost their lives on COVID. And I question how many more deaths during this 9 months, or was November now, really, and people are saying that COVID may have been here since last December or November, this time last year, certainly since January, and the president knew. That's a whole nother. But how many more deaths during this period maybe weren't classified as COVID death, but maybe were part of that? And I don't know, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line, we may hear more data on that. But that is a question that I have as well. So November 1st, more than 9 million people in America have tested positive, more than 230,000 dead from COVID. Let me pause to say thank you from me, Chamia Ray, to all of the people on the front line during this entire pandemic, from the doctors, nurses, the custodial staff at the hospitals and clinics everywhere. Hello, y'all. Thank you, especially during this. And I mean, already on a regular basis, the custodial staff, they have a really hard and difficult job, but doing all that during a pandemic too, oh, thank you. Also, anyway, all of those folks, all of the EMTs, the paramedics, thank you. All of the firefighters and others that are first responders that help folks in need during this pandemic, thank you. Thank you for all the business continuity staff all over. For example, and one of the companies that I work for with, who will remain nameless, there are people who are making medicines to treat people with illnesses and things like that. That's, they can't stop working in the lab and manufacturing things, or, those who work in the meat processing plants, or the factories that make our food, or that make cars, or that make, clothes we wear, whatever. All that stuff is still happening during the pandemic. Thank y'all. Thank you to all the Instacart shoppers who go into these stores on our behalf, and the people who work for DoorDash and go pick up food for us, or supplies or medicines and those things. Thank you. Appreciate you. Chamia does. Thank you to the bus drivers who still got to do their jobs and get people to and from, even during this pandemic. And BART, which is our not a subway really, I don't know, whatever that system here in the Bay Area. Thank you to all the BART staff, just everybody that's had to continue working through this. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who has been at home and working. And I don't say working from home. We are at home, all right, and working. You in my life, all up in here, right? And thank you, because there's a lot of folks, maybe you're not working in a lab somewhere or a factory somewhere, or you're in the hospital, but certainly the work that you do is mattering to the people that you work with, to the customers that you have, to the world at large. So thank you for continuing to do all of that with everything that we have going on. So I want to share that. Wonder how y'all are feeling living through this pandemic. Right? How's it been? How's it feel? It's been different for me, driving down the streets and seeing just businesses closed and boarded up. Feels weird. Some of the things that I miss, because I'm a bit of an introvert. You wouldn't know so. I mean, a lot of folks think, oh, you're so outgoing and you know all these people. And I'm like, I know is one of those words. Do I? I mean, anyway, I'm an extroverted introvert. Certainly I could turn it on and do the work I need to do and engage with community and people. And I care about that, but I'm really a private person and to myself when I be here at the house. I don't go to other people's house, never have, not just because it's not COVID. I just don't do that. So that's just part of me. But part of the things that I miss that have been different during this time has been, I miss going out to restaurants and being served. I miss being able to sit at a bar for a couple hours with my laptop and just do what I do, or sit there with a book. I miss going to the spa. I miss getting my hair did. I've been doing my own hair all year, and that's so not my bag for those who know me, but I'm managing in the grand scheme of all things that are important. This is really not. Yeah. I miss backyard boogies, for those who know what that's about. One of the big parties that I do a few times a year. So I miss backyard boogies and, family gatherings, as, everybody comes here for the holidays. So miss y'all. Enjoy the family Zooms though. But those are just a few things. Yeah. I see you, Janine. Yes, I appreciate you too. And your 15 years that you just celebrated at your job. And thank you for that. And sis Rena, I see you, Texas Road. I do miss, I wonder how Texas Roadhouse is going to change their business model with people spitting peanut shells on the floor after COVID. I imagine those days are done. So I think a lot of things are going to look different, for the folks that are talking about, oh, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. Normal is going to look different, y'all. It's going to look different, and really it needs to look different. And I'm speaking now from my Black perspective. Yeah, hella Black and proud. What? Stolen from Africa. Yeah, all of that. Some things I don't want to go back to normal. Some things normal never worked for us, and I look forward to them changing. And I am taking the opportunity to shape and change that for me and mine. And I encourage all of us to do the same. We don't want some of that same old normal BS, right? How can we elevate from that? Let's do that. But yeah, there's some things that we miss. I see you, Chef Mecca, the chef, the Woo Chef in the building. I love you. And what was that poutine? I can't say the word, the poutine that you made with the potatoes and the shredded oxtail or short ribs, bomb.net, everything. I love that. Thank you. And I miss, you have getting together with your girls and having brunch. I live for brunch. I miss going to Pear Street Bistro and Pinot and get my chocolate martinis. And instead of the chicken and waffle, I get chicken and French toast because I love French toast. And it's not the same when you get it delivered. Like some things you need to have it hot off the grill with the butter melting into it and be able to, I miss getting served. Excuse me, may I have some more syrup? Because I have, maple syrup here, but I like getting the good corn syrup stuff out of the restaurants that I refuse to buy. But I like going to the restaurant to treat myself to some of that stuff. And I miss that. Yeah, what are some of the things that y'all miss while we're going through this COVID thing? I wonder, for those in the East Coast, like I had a girlfriend that went to medical school, or just not medical school, correction, because she did her medical school at Howard University. And then she did her residency at Rutgers in New Jersey. And I remember going to visit her and going to get gas. And I was like, oh, I pump. She was like, girl, you don't got to pump out here? Like, because she's from Cali. And I'm like, we got to get out the car and like just do it all. Self-service or the full service was done when I was a kid. Like in the 80s, I think full service died. But there in the East Coast, so she schooled me real quick. She's like, no, they pump your gas for you and they do all that. So I wonder, if they're still doing that or if you have to now do self-service, if you go to the gas stations during COVID or just even how those folks are doing because, you're interacting with a lot of folks. But anyway, that's something I would miss too, just that extra service and all of those extra touches that we take for granted. Here we are in this pandemic and some of that stuff is gone. So yeah, those are some of the things that I miss. Backyard boogies will be back with the party punch, the good music, great food, the dessert spread, all of that. That'll be something I definitely continue after COVID because, my circle is small. For those who have come to my home, I invite the people that I invite, my small circle, and I tell them that you can invite who you invite because if you invite them to my house or you vouch for them, this is my house, this ain't the club. You're inviting them to some party out somewhere. You're inviting them to my home, and we always have a great time. And so I look forward to doing that again. Yeah. Those are some of the things that I miss. And Thanksgiving is coming. And Christmas is coming. And Kwanzaa is coming. I mean, a number of holidays are coming, whatever you may celebrate. My home is normally the gathering place for my family, and I host the major holidays and love to do so. But not this year, because it's COVID. My excuse for a lot of things. No, it's COVID. Chamia, you coming? Nope, it's COVID. Chamia, can we? Nope, it's COVID. Chamia, have you? It's COVID. Nah. So, no, people will be coming over here to Mikasa for the holiday. I miss that. Especially, you have a huge family like mine. And we potluck. I mean, it's a lot of us, and we potluck, and everybody has their thing that they make. And so together, it's a feast. But, if you have to do all that cooking yourself, or, for you to have those staples, you can, like, I could very well, I could burn, right? And I could cook all the dishes that I want. But I look forward to my Aunt Lona's greens, and Aunt Gigi's green beans, and Cousin Crystal's cornbread muffins, and Misha's roast, and Mama's dressing, and Gigi's chocolate cake. I mean, I make my chocolate cake, and we have our chocolate cake taste off. But, everybody does their own things, right? Everybody cooks in the family and does good stuff. And I'm like, how are we gonna do that without everybody having to buy in the cook? We're just gonna scale back. Maybe we have pizza this Thanksgiving. I don't know. Probably not, definitely not. But I'm just saying, it's definitely something that we missed during COVID. So yeah, how are y'all feeling about that? And with the election, have you voted already? If not, are you planning to? Have you talked to the people in your circle, whatever your circle looks like, whatever the size of your circle? Have you talked to your circle and inquired about their voting status and where they are in the process? Have they voted? I know here in the Bay Area, and I live in Richmond. I'm proud from a girl to be from the rich. And in the Bay Area in California, a lot of these measures and propositions are very trickily worded, right? So you can't just pay attention to the commercials with, the poor, sad, elderly man or woman saying, don't do this, I'll die if you vote for, like, don't pay attention to all that, because half that shit is lies, okay? Somebody paid them to come and sit on that commercial and act and do that. So no, or even if they say they're an actual patient, still they may be compensated, and that's a position often by the people behind that proposition or measure. You got to know the game. And you also cannot rely on just the snippet of wording on your sample ballot or your ballot to tell you what a measure or proposition is really about, or what your vote will mean. You really need to get in and read the guts. Get into the guts of the measures or the propositions. I'm so glad, sis, to see that you voted early. Hashtag be the change. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, tell somebody else to do the same. But yeah, get into the guts of these measures and propositions. A lot of them are very, very trickily worded. And even when you get into them, they could be slightly confusing, and you just really got to look at that, the impartial analysis, sometimes not even just reading the arguments in favor or those against, or the rebuttals to, for or against. Sometimes it might require going onto the state site and, digging a little deeper. Not all the candidates got candidate statements in time for that voter information pamphlet that was mailed to you. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't vote for them. Maybe they just didn't meet that deadline. So you have to go online and search and see, like, I'm a person, I like to look at people's face. I don't know you. So I want to Google you. I want to see what your face look like. Who is this? Do they look like me? Do they look like whatever? Where are they from? What are their positions? Check out their candidate website. Check out, what their history is. Some of them check out their social media and see what kind of stuff they be posting. But do your research. Make an informed, educated vote. And a lot of folks that I've been having conversations with have had questions. Just the other night, went to dinner with my mom, part of my little pod of places that I go and people that I interact with during this pandemic, and had a really good conversation with my aunt and my cousin as he was filling out his ballot and going to mail it in. And just how we voted. My aunt and I were talking about how we voted, sometimes the same on things and different things for this election. And, he had questions about how some things were worded. And he was like, oh, no, but I remember this commercial. Oh, this is the commercial, right, where they had the old Black man that said, da, 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 da. And I, just reminded him, some of these commercials are lies, right? Fast food is good for you. Nah, it ain't. Ever. Just don't believe the hype. You got to know the truth for yourself. But more importantly, you got to go get it because it's not always there. You have to go read it. You want the knowledge. It's available for you, but it's in writing. And sometimes you got to go dig for it to get the full breadth of understanding of what your vote means. So, yeah. What y'all think about that? Yeah, no, it's not just you that did that. Yeah, I did that too. You got to do your research, and I'm glad that you did your research and that you look people up and do all of that. It's important. It's critical. We got to. Yeah, I appreciate those of you that are rocking with me on live. You know, I love D Nice and all of them, and I support them. Don't diminish them. But hey, here's your local homegirl, your sister, your friend, your cousin. That person you went to junior high school with, whatever, trying to do some positive things in the community. Come over, support me. Thank you for liking my post, but can you join the live though? Huh? Just saying. So yeah. Hey, Auntie Gail. I see you. Look at you being a good representative. And I'm glad you did your research and teaching your son well, right? How to do his research. All of that is very important. It's what we have to do because a lot of things are misleading, very misleading. And there's several things where I thought I was going to vote one way. And then I actually got into the guts because I keep telling you I get into the guts of these propositions and these measures, right? Get into the guts. I got into the guts and I was like, what? This is not at all what I thought. Hold on. But I saw this commercial and they said all the poor fire victims and the elders would be able to keep their homes or to get a new home if I voted yes for this thing. And then I read the guts and I was like, oh, but hold on now. If my mama passed away, what this mean for me? And wait a minute. Because hold on, traditionally, Black folks, when Big Mama had her house and when she passed, so many of us weren't able to keep it. And I wonder if we were aware of these laws that were written, and then we can take all these things away if we, oh, I'm so glad I read this. Now this is how I want to vote. Get into the guts. Read it for yourself. Do not rely on the advertising, including all the mailers that you get, the things you get in like the old school mail, like comes in your door if you have that, or, the little box outside your door, or the group of boxes and you walk around the corner and you put your thing and you get it, or you go to your post office box and you open it up and it's like all these little one-page things in there with someone's face on it. And no. It's advertising. Just like anything else. And it's advertising from a particular position. And you can't rely on that to tell you all of the facts impartially. You have to read the information and do it. More importantly, get out there and vote. It's not too late to do it until it's done, right? So we're not at November 3rd yet. No, it's only Sunday the 1st. So you still have time. Get out there and vote early. I dropped a link in the comments here to a KQED article that talks to you about where you can find out where you can go and vote early polling places in your area. You can go to your county registrar's website and find out where drop boxes are, or where to vote early. Here in the Bay Area, polling places, at least one polling place is open in every county right now. So started Saturday through Monday from, I don't know if it's 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. One place where you could go vote in person live in every county here in the Bay Area. You can do that. Or if you have your mail-in ballot and you want to drop it off, you can find out an official drop box to drop it off at. I voted, I think about 2 weeks ago, and I took mine into the main post office branch here in Richmond. I didn't put it in the box outside because I've seen all kind of crazy stuff in the news where people are setting boxes on fire, where they said it was the GOP, which I'm assuming is the Republicans, whatever, of California, put these fake boxes at places with labels and stickers on them that said official voting box or whatever, where people could drop their ballots off. It was illegal, and Attorney General sent, cease and desist letters, and I don't know if they went and picked those fake boxes up, but I wasn't going to take the chance on my hella black vote. So what I did was I walked myself with my ballot in hand into the post office, and they have a slot in there. I didn't have to interact with anyone, but I just put it inside the slot right there inside the post office because it's behind their gate, their lock system, and I know it's not going anywhere. And then I use the track my ballot feature that my county has, so I could see that my ballot was received at the post office, that it was in transit, that it was received by the county office of registered voters, all of that. I could track my ballot. I know Alameda County has something similar. One of my homeboys told me that he did that with his ballot. So, don't believe the hype. And I know there's a lot of confusing information out there that will say otherwise, that, oh, there's all this voter fraud, blah, blah, blah. But that's a lie. Remember, it's a whole lot of lies going on right now. We talked about the war being waged against Black people and Blackness all over the world, certainly here in this country. And I'm talking about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial warfare on Blackness. Well, guess what? There's also a war on truth. Okay? Y'all can see this. Hashtag that part. There's a war on truth. Certainly here in this country, lies from the Most High in this country, that'll tell you if you look outside, and I'm looking at a blue sky with a few little white streaks of clouds, someone on the highest position in this country that'll tell you that the sky is orange and the clouds are actually unicorns that are purple. So you just got to know the truth for yourself, because there is truly an attack on truth. So you have to find the facts for yourself, get into the guts of things to really do your research and to find out and to make educated, informed decisions. So yeah, glad y'all voted. Those of you who said you voted, anybody have questions about that? Anybody want to hop on to the Zoom? I will repost the link. Let me grab that real quick as I toggle from screens. If anybody wants to hop onto Zoom and talk with me here, show your face. You ain't got to be all, gussied up. You see, well, y'all know I don't wear makeup like that anyway, but I ain't got none on today and a t-shirt, but I always wear t-shirts. It's kind of my thing. It's cool if you got your baby in your lap, your kids in the background, because remember, we are at home and working. We're not working from home. We are at home and working, and that's where I'm at. So it doesn't need to be fancy. Just come on here if you want to talk to me. I appreciate the comments too. Keep those going. You can share this right now on your pages. That would be helpful. Thank you. Share it to your homies. Be like, look, especially all those of you that are normally on social media, because I'm not, and I have my feelings about that, including the fact that it's killing interpersonal communications and face-to-face dialogue and all of that, because everybody's looking on their phone for updates, and half the shit you see on social media are really 2/3 or 3/4, or even more than that, 80% is fake, or, very skewed in a position. Like, call me, come see me. This is how I'm doing in person, in real life. I'll be your friend in real life. So those are some of the reasons why I hate social media. But anyway, for those of you who are on social media all the time, or on Facebook, go ahead and click that share to your page, to your feed. Let people know, hey, I'm over here hollering at the homegirl, Chamia LeRae, and hearing what she's talking about on the Just Chamia Show. And she's giving us this opportunity to express our thoughts and feelings and opinions about what we're living through. Hey, this is what's going on in my life. Hey, here's this really good book that I'm reading called Dear Love, a collection of love letters written to love, written by Chamia LeRae. No, here's this really great book that I'm reading, and I encourage you to read it. Hey, sis, here's this really good artist you should know about, and I want to just share this with the people because everybody should listen to this. Yeah, and oh yeah, this is what I think about, Prop 19, or here's what I think about COVID, and I had this happen to me. Whoa. Let's talk about it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for y'all. Love you. So, yeah. So, what else is going on? Really, those are the kind of some of the main topics I wanted to talk about today. Just throw up in the air and see, what you guys are thinking and feeling about life right now. And just the folks that I've been dialoguing with, whether it's in professional circles, personal circles, Even you see, depending on which media outlets you pay attention to, or even social media outlets, a lot of people have some angst or anxiety about the impending election, not just about Tuesday, right? A lot of folks are feeling a little bit of angst and anxiety about what happens Wednesday. Are we gonna go into a civil war? What if Trump don't win? Are his crazy folks gonna, try to do all kind of, off the chain stuff and whatever? People don't know. How you feeling? What you think? What's on your mind? I personally, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not the Lord. I just pray to see Tuesday and Wednesday. Whatever happens, I'm grateful that I am provisioned in all the ways that I need to be provisioned up in here. So, I'm cool, at least on that front. I don't know what's going to happen, and it'll be interesting to see, right? It'll be interesting to see. And I think that no matter what, it's very important that we take that's not a word, help me, Lord, that we take special care of ourselves, especially now, especially these next few weeks, especially these next few months, because we don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, we always should take care of ourselves, but just really be tapped into you. How are you feeling? Are you getting enough rest? A lot of people ain't sleeping the same right now. Our brains are just overloaded with thoughts and feelings and emotions. Are you resting well? Take a nap if you need to. Are you eating well? Are you staying hydrated? Are you expressing yourself? Is there support that you need? What support do you need? Who do you need that support from? Think about those things for you as part of your own self-love, self-care. Tap into those things, and then share. Again, I'm going to do this again. And it's, okay if you're looking and watching and you don't want to hop onto the Zoom, it's okay, because that could be challenging too. This is putting myself out there. This is showing y'all a little bit of my home. And it's like, oh, she has something over there on the wall. Ooh. I'm not that comfortable with that as my introverted self, but I am, doing my part, and I'm here to listen. And I want to know how y'all doing and how y'all feeling. And I'll be checking in. Maybe we'll do this again next weekend. And, I'll just tap in some time after Tuesday and see how y'all are doing, and provide another opportunity for people to express. So yeah, that's what we're here to do. And yes, we still want justice for Breonna Taylor. That's something I would love to dialogue with folks about too, live, and to get thoughts and feelings. It's like, as all this stuff happens to Black folks, right? So we talked about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial violence against Black folks. What does justice look like? Especially when you have someone's life that's taken, right? What does justice look like? Now, maybe that wasn't your relative, right? But if it was, and even if it wasn't, and it's part of your community, or just as a citizen, right? Like you're called for whatever, to serve, or what does justice look like in some of these things? I don't know. But that's something we should talk about, especially as we're out there advocating for, protesting and marching for, boycotting on behalf of, posting and reposting memes that state we need justice. What does that mean? What does that look like to you? Because justice to me isn't necessarily the justice to you. Justice to me is not necessarily the same as justice to the people that are sitting in Congress. Hello, the people that are, writing these laws, or that are imposing and reinforcing and supporting and maintaining this systemically racist system in America. That's not justice to me. And I have some very specific thoughts and opinions, but I want to know what justice looks like to you. And I see your comment, Janine, too, that says, and check on your people because depression has become an even bigger issue during this pandemic and social unrest. Hello, again, if that ain't the truth, if I ever heard it. Very much so. And it's not just people who have diagnosed depression and anxiety. It's all kind of people. You have these feelings that you don't know what it is. It's very real. Shit, it's stressful. It's a lot. This year has been a lot. Life is a lot generally, but I mean, come on, this is a lot. It's extra, you know? It's extra. So, yeah, call in, check on people. You know, you will never see my life on social media because that's just not how I roll. But if you care, there's a few ways in the comments there that you could reach out and stay in touch. You could do that. All right, come on through, mama. More of y'all could join on Zoom. All right. Hey, Shirlene. Hold on, you're connecting to the audio. And while she's connecting, if anybody else wants to hop onto the Zoom, the link is there. You could do it. All right, we're waiting for your audio to come on board. But yeah, keep checking in on folks because it's a really hard time for folks. And we need to hear that. Can't hear you just yet. It still says you're connecting to audio. So I'll give you a minute to do that. I can see your video, but can't hear you just yet. Can you hear me? You look great. I love those glasses. Oh, technical difficulties. That's okay. Well, I'm waiting for you. It's happened. That's been another thing living through COVID. We've all been forced to embrace technology when, you know, those who know me know that I am a slow, late, reluctant adopter of technology, but it's really catapulted a lot of us toward it really fast. Are you connected to the audio? I see you, but don't hear you yet. So yeah, I can't hear you just yet. So maybe you can resolve that, or you can even try, if it would help you to, it says you didn't connect to audio. It says connecting to audio. If not, you can try maybe dropping off and then rejoining the link again to see if that helps you. I can see you, but can't hear you. Want to say something? Yep, I can't hear you still. I appreciate you trying. But yeah, this has been something we've all had to get used to, is learning new technology and how to use it. That's right, with the Black Lives Matter mask. I love that. Yeah, self-care is absolutely important. I'm still continuing to read the comments. I appreciate all of you again that have stopped through today. I am recording this. Yep, I hear you.
Okay, baby.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Thank you for stopping on through with the Just Chamia Show. This is my mama, y'all. So yeah, so some of the things that I've been talking about today are how this has been a challenging year for so many. One, with the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial violence against Black folks, the economic hardship that many folks are going through, with cost of stuff going up, a lot of people being displaced and having lost their jobs or furloughed. Or
I've been listening.
Yeah. How are you feeling, or do you have any thoughts on that? And we're 2 days out from the election.
I do. For everybody that's here, thank God for that. I just want to wish all of you guys love, happiness, and kindness. Be gentle with yourselves, be gentle with others. That's the key. Mm-hmm. And just know that, you know, it's a one-time in a lifetime experience. In my 60-something years of living, this is the first time that I've ever experienced anything like that. Mm-hmm. Through this experience, I learned a lot about myself. And I really learned to be patient and to be kind, and also to stay in the moment, you know, more than anything. kindness, kindness, and then some kindness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are your thoughts? Yes, on all of that and the self-care. What does self-care look like for you during this time, and or maybe how is your self-care practice different during COVID, or even now as we're getting closer to the election, if you felt like you needed any extra self-care?
Well, you know that I've been doing a whole bunch of self-care. You know that I had to dive deep because after losing two of my siblings this year, that all by itself, it had a profound effect on how I view life. Still tears me up just to talk about it. But more than anything, it made me stay living on this day, in this hour, in this moment. And that's how I get through stuff. You know, it's hard, you know, and recognizing that it's okay to say that it's hard to
Right.
be able to recognize and say that you're struggling,
Mm-hmm.
to recognize and say that you can be an emotional wreck moment by moment, you know, and then having the wherewithal to say, you know, I'm feeling this and I'm going to be in this feeling for just this moment,
Mm-hmm.
but don't relish in it. Don't get stuck because it becomes your rut. And that's the one thing that you don't want to have. And just know that you got to reach out to other people because people need people. And it's like being kind and gentle with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and extending that same kindness and gentleness out with other people. That's just been a thing that, uh, you know, I've been walking through. And the other thing is, and you know, I'm a touchy feely huggy kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say this right here. I got the COVIDs. I can't hug you. I got the COVID.
Well, don't say you got it now. Don't be claiming that you ain't
No, no,
got
no,
it.
no, no,
But I hear
no,
you.
no,
It's
no.
COVID.
It's the COVIDs that's got
Yeah.
me acting like this. You know what and making light of it in that sense. But at the same time, you get in where you fit in. And I said, even though I can't be there physically with a lot of people, I still want you to know that I love you. I still want you to know that you are loved. And most of all, I want you to know that you are love exemplified, and go on and be that love that you need to receive. Be that to yourself. So during this season
Mm-hmm.
of newness, you know, you got to break in this new period, just like you break in a new pair of shoes or a car or a man or a woman or whatever. You know, take time to get yourself through this season.
Yeah.
And just know that, you know, everything that God has brought you through so far, we're going to get through this right here too. And I think if we keep our eyes focused on what is real and what really rules you, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And, you know, I got to say who rules me. My captain is God, and that's where my anchor is at. And, you know, I'm happy to have a daughter. I'm happy to have sisters. I'm happy to have friends. I got a friend in the house, y'all. Say hi, friend. That's
Hey, thank you for being on the live. I just saw your comment.
Auntie Gail. We've been friends longer than you've been alive, Chamia.
Mm-hmm. And I still got my bottle of Welch's grape in my kitchen that she got me in 1980 something. Serious.
That's a 1970 something bottle of Welch's grape juice. That's probably
Welch's vinegar by now.
gonna be worth some money somewhere just to put a label on it.
Right.
But it's like when you say that part,
Mm-hmm.
having people around who get you and know the good, the bad, and the ugly about you,
Mm-hmm.
and they still stand with you, knowing all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what gets you through the COVIDs.
Yeah. The COVID.
That's what gets you through whatever. And so, you know, go back to what you know that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then also utilize this time that you guys have been allowed have and stuff, to do the stuff that you always said you would do if you had the time to do it. You know, most of the things that are valuable don't cost money.
Facts.
You
Come
know,
on, mama, with the life gems.
but having said all of that, you gotta loosen up and sometimes get with the foolishness too. And so, and the real and the fun. So I've been having fun. I pushed enter on the screen of something that I've never did before. And I'm happy that I did it because I've been meeting some wonderful people, some solid people. Girl, you might get yourself a new daddy.
Okay, so anyway, let's talk about so the elections in I'm hella grown. Like, I ain't getting nothing new in 40 something. Okay, so and
in the COVID, in the season of COVID.
Yeah, we need love in the COVID, even though it's COVID. We need love and companionship, and I'm all for it. You know, do you and have your joy. I support it, and I'm all for that, and the fun and the shenanigans and all. I'm for it. You got to do what's part, and that love and receiving love is part of self-care as well, and that's the truth. So, you know, I'm saying all of, you know, my jokes and jest, but, you know, that's real and that's true. Question for you, and for anybody else that would love to join the Zoom, it's not too late. The Zoom link is there. You could do it if you want to. We're 2 days out from the election. That means something. And then there's also, you know, the angst or feelings or questioning about what will happen after. What are your thoughts leading into Tuesday and the days after? How you feeling? Have you voted yet?
I am in the process of the last couple of propositions because, you know, I believe in reading all of the language. And so I'm going to be driving my vote in on tomorrow. It's a big election. And it's one of the thing is, you know, Bruce the Million, you got to believe in something. Why not believe in me? Vote for none of the above.
Oh, that's my favorite movie. One of them.
That's out. But that's out. You can't be about, you know, none of the above and stuff because our lives depend on it. And the thing is this right here, you younger people, you know, who are not liking things, be the change that you want. Get your tail in there and participate on a local level, because that's what it's gonna. At the end of the day, it gets down to just that. You know, you need to participate in what's happening in your neighborhood, and you know, you have to think about the interests of other people. Get out of the selfishness, because it's like when you want to have fun, most of us want to have fun with other people. And in every kind of aspect of our life, the things that you want to do, it requires other people. So, you know, you make the things that you want in your own community. You go in and you make the laws in your own community. You know, this global election that we get to participate in. And I say it's global because everybody's so focused in on just President Trump, but the world is watching.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody has to remember. And you got to remember that God is in control. And the part that you could do, get up and do it. Because if you don't vote, I don't want to hear you talking to me. I don't want to hear your complaints. I don't want to hear you say anything about anything that you ain't got or can't have. And it's like for anybody who is not white and you say the white man or the white man rhetoric, it's like, which white man are you talking about? Because they have, you know, most white people that I know have the same issues that I have. And it's like, do your part. Do your part. You know, and it's like, you got to get to know people. You got to get out there and know the culture of the people, the culture of the younger people, the culture of the older people. We're all human beings. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, bottom line gets down when you get down to everything you want. You want to be around solid people.
Yeah. What do you think? because I mean, I'm going to ask, for the wisdom of the couch there, and you've lived through more elections than I have. You lived and were a teenager and coming into adulthood and all of that. Hey, cheers! In the 70s, right, in the 80s, and all of that, and Black Panther movement and all of that. What do you think is one of the core reasons why? Because there was younger Black people that started that movement then. What do you think is some of the reasons why young Black people aren't as mobilized in this country for themselves? Because really, I'm not talking about like mobilizing for, for just the sake of doing it. We were doing those things for ourselves and for our own families and own communities. So what do you see as some of those core differences? Did your generation do this to us?
Yeah. Yeah, and the previous generations and the previous before, and so on and so on and so, all the way back through time. It always is this right here. Foundations are being laid, and you're laying a foundation too. And one of the things that I look at is Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin King, he was in his 30s when he was assassinated. So that March on Washington, he was, I believe, in his late 20s. He was doing things as a young man in his 20s and in his 30s, and people forget that. And it's like the change, it's the same thing that I see. It is the younger people. Mm-hmm. And you do have to fight, not just for what you want, but it is a generational thing. It's your children and your children's children.
Yeah.
And so I say this all the time, be the change that you want to be.
Yeah.
Be that change that you want to see.
Yeah.
Be that love that you want to receive. Mm-hmm. Be that. And it's it's like this: nothing ventured, nothing gained. The closed mouth does not get fed, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever it is, you have to speak up on it and stuff, and don't assume that people know, and then it's like...
Well, hold on. Before you get on too, I want to just say you brought up a really great point too about Dr. King and the work that he was doing as a young man. And you could say the same about, many of the founders of the Black Panther Party and what they were doing, or Brother Malcolm X and the work that he was doing, even whoever it is, and the work that they were doing, even Elijah Muhammad, if you go that route, and a lot of, the more impressionable works that he was doing, starting as a young man and even through his elder years, right? And even Farrakhan, so many others. And so, you also think about the things that impact Black lives. I think about Tamir Rice, right? How old was that baby when he was shot and killed, right?
And he was lost in less than 2 seconds. Everybody needs to absorb that. I was 12 years old and I lost my life in less than a 2-second encounter.
Right. And so that's all. That's to say that, all of these issues impact us, especially as Black people from birth. Hello, you just Black and you born, you here. It matters. Your involvement matters. Our children need to be aware of the things that are being taught to them in school, and our Black history and facts and culture and all of that, because the indoctrination starts as soon as they engage with the system. All of our teenagers, they have power and rights and capabilities. Even when you can't vote, you still have rights and capabilities and power. Those in the 20s and your 30s, those aren't just years to party away and maybe go to a JC and maybe just work this little retail job over here. Yeah, those are things that impact your day-to-day and things that you should do in part of life, but that's not all of life. And you should be engaged and involved. You have to, because this stuff is happening to us every single day. Men, women, and children. Your life matters. And when you're old enough to vote, and this is one of the things that's on the ballot here in California, is, those that are going to be 18 by the next primary election, should they be allowed to vote at age 17? but it impacts you. And when you can vote, you should be voting, because every little thing from, you're going to buy a bag of chips and how much that bag of chip costs you because the tax is added, or, what schools you can go to and the cost of the school, or, who's governing the city that you live in and setting laws and things like that, and practices for what happens in the city that you live, everything down to your day to day. You got to be a part of that process, right? And it doesn't just start or stop on the day that you vote. It's every day. Live a life of service.
I agree. And I look at it, from this perspective too. Somebody died so that I could vote. My parents, they voted for Barack Obama, and I had to go vote as well because, of the history in our family and stuff. It's like voting is one of the ways that you demand your rights to your citizenship as an American native and citizen. And it's one of those privileges that you get. And it's like, you have to participate in that. And I think I have some friends for religious purposes, they choose not to vote. And it's like, I can't disrespect what their belief systems are, but I remind them all the time, you don't participate in this, but just remember that you are bound by the laws that somebody else made. Mm-hmm. And you have to live by them, whether it's a tax you're going to be paying, whether or not it's going to be 4 hours that your kids go to school, whether or not it's going to be a place where you can walk on a coastline, or
whether it's your freedom to practice that religion that you're a part of, because there are places in this world where people are killed because they are practicing a particular religion and faith. And even the point that you bring about people who died for our right to vote, most folks, and I won't say most folks, some Black people are of the mind, they think that is, since slavery, civil rights era, the water hoses and the dogs and the lynchings and all of that. But when I think about our right to vote, I think about going all the way back to this, when we were stolen from Africa. That's part of my right to vote, right? And everything that me and all of my ancestors have dealt with and suffered since then, it's not just that particular period of time. It's even still right now. It's even the fact that, Supreme Court nominees are being rushed through, right? And that's part of our right to vote and to determine how that process works. There's all kind of things, saying, was it in Wisconsin where the Supreme Court just voted in this last week or two where, certain ballots couldn't be counted. And they're voting on which ballots can be counted in this election. So it's not just the right to vote today. The right to vote today is still not secure in many places for us here, right? So you just got to get real, educate yourself on what's really happening and the things that have happened, and quit reading the headlines or following the advertising or the propaganda, and get into the guts is what I keep saying of it all. You got to get into the guts and know it for yourself. Remember that there's also a war on truth. There is absolutely a war being waged on truth. If you don't see it, it's because your eyes are closed. If you don't hear it, it's because your ears are closed. If you don't feel it, there's some other things that need to be worked on. But the war on truth is very real, and it's apparent. And so because of that, as part of love and self-love, I hope you love truth. I hope you're real with yourself, right? And at least be real.
Most people aren't. Most people, most people aren't honest with themselves. They can't even stand in front of the mirror. And this is a challenge to everybody who can hear me. Stand in front of your mirror and name off 10 things that you love about yourself, and 10 things that you've told yourself that that wasn't true, yet you still answer and slave to that crazy stuff. Now, back to, the political thing is this right here. we got the propaganda and we bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And the news channels, I'm a news junkie. And I recognize and am mad at the liberal, so-called liberal news, MSNBC, CNN. And then I look at Fox, and I challenge everybody to watch at least those three, but you got to turn off what America gives you all the time. And you got to look at news from outside of this country.
And watch the Just Chamia Show, too.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. And it's like, once you start listening to and seeing news from other viewpoints around the world, you'll realize quickly that you get lied to, and you've been lied to. Here's my case in point. Every time we look or think about Africa, if you haven't been there, you might tend to believe some of the junk and lies that Donald Trump has told. These shithole countries. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I challenge you. Number one, how many countries are inside of the continent of Africa?
Right. Africa is not a country, first of all. It's a
continent. Thank you. I missed that. I said that, but how many?
No, not you. I'm just telling the people. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, in those countries, go and look at some of the things that are happening on the east coast of Africa and, Ethiopia. Y'all like wearing those dreads. Go there where the dreads came from. Go back and look at Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. Go to Addis Ababa. Go down and look at Kenya. Go listen to, that's where Barack Obama's father is from. Y'all need to check out the brother president from there and what those cities look like in Kenya. You got to go in and look at Rwanda, where the genocides are, and look and see how it's built up now. And it's like, that is a continent that's on growth. Our continent can stay on growth, but America is not where it could be because of, money issues and corporate things. But when you look at the world, you go look at the Asian countries, where the education system is dwarfing our countries. The number of doctors and scientists per capita in India, it makes this country look sick and weak. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's so much of that stuff because we're lazy. We don't want to read. We don't want to discover anything outside of our comfort zone. So therefore, if that's where you'll stay, you have a whole lot of missing opportunities. And it's like, it's a beautiful world outside. And as long as we keep thinking about ourselves today as a country versus ourselves as a part of this big world versus WWW, World Wide Web, until we start seeing that, we're going to keep ourselves pigeonholed and listening to this WAC, this whack ass controversies versus, some real. Here with the
yeah,
and you know what I'm saying, because you got to turn off the junk.
You do.
The bottom line is you got to turn off the junk and stuff, and until you have to. You got to. It's and I'm gonna get off your stuff. It's this thing right here. Whose thought are you thinking?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I just like to say too, I'm part of it too, especially for Black people in this country, really all over the world. Even when you do plug off and you turn off some of those things, there's still a lot of things systemically in us and around us that have prohibited our movements, growings, all of that. So we have a lot to combat and fight against in order to just be, and certainly to grow and to elevate. So we will talk more on that. Thank you, Ms. Powell, for chiming in. I appreciate the love and support. We are just about coming up on time, too. So I appreciate you. Come back, and we'll do this again in about a week. We have lots more to talk about, and I encourage you to continue coming to the conversation. Thank you, and thanks. Auntie Gail in the background as well.
Keep doing you, Mia. I
Thank
love it.
you. Love you too.
Love y'all.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just as I get ready to wrap it up here, I first like to remind y'all that this is not a conversation, a single conversation, but this is an ongoing dialogue. And yes, there is the Just Chamia Show as we've known it so far and to date. And for those of you, again, because I do acknowledge that everybody don't know me, everybody don't know Just Chamia Show, you can hop on over to your YouTube and find it and watch, you know, the 4 or 5 seasons of episodes that are there and all the interviews with all the beautiful people that I've talked to. And thank all of y'all who've supported me there, who have supported My Life Unscrewed, who have supported Dear Love, a collection of love letters written to love, who are supporting the building of Dear Love, the movement, and all the things that I'm doing there, who are supporting, you know, all the work that I'm doing in the community, who I participated in serving Saturdays, you know, serving our homeless and displaced populations, all of that. I'm out here, y'all. I'm for real. This is part of my love in service to the community. And I just thank y'all for riding with me, those who are new and just seeing it for the first time. Thank you. Family who have chimed in and hopped in and out or dipped into the comments, all of that, I appreciate you. I'm recording. I'm going to post this onto our YouTube channel, so you can go on and find that there. Everything you can find me under Chamia Larrae. Come on, there's only one. CHAMIALARAE. Hello. Okay, so you can find me. I'm going to post this. But again, most importantly, this is not a single conversation. This is an ongoing dialogue, and I'm going to be doing these community check-ins because we need it. Obviously, I'm cool to sit here and to talk, and I could do that, and there's lots to talk about and lots to say, and I could share my thoughts, feelings, and opinions and positions on things, but I'm here for you. And so we will do this again. I'll probably do it in the next week or so. I will post it up so you'll know exactly when and what time. It'll probably be the same time, maybe next Sunday I'll come back. And I will do it next Sunday. There it is. I'll make a commitment next Sunday from 2 to 3:30 Pacific time. That's Sunday the 8th, from 2 to 3:30 Pacific time here on Facebook Live with the Zoom link. Chime in, tell everybody, come on back, and let's keep talking and loving and supporting each other. Whatever your thoughts and feelings, I appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Love you. Be blessed. Be a blessing.